Good evening, everyone. I welcome you all for this web development course, session 8. So, in this session, we are going to discuss about PHP MySQL database connectivity part. So, in the previous two sessions, we have been discussing about PHP and MySQL, okay, separately. So, you know already all the basics how to work with PHP and also how to work with MySQL, okay. So, in this session, we are going to get some inputs from HTML controls, and we are going to pass on these values to the server, and the server will do some processing on the database, and then it will the details from the database and it will show you on the web page. Okay, so that's what we are going to do today. Okay, so PHP 5 and the later versions can work with MySQL database using there are two different types of uh, connections you can use it. One is MySQLi, the another one is PHP data objects, otherwise call it as PDO. Okay. So there are two ways in which you can connect to the database. Now, first of all, let me see the procedure how to connect to the database. Okay. So this is the coding given here for connecting to the database. So let's see. You'll have three variables: server name, username, and password. Okay. And with this we are going to create the database connectivity with MySQL database. Okay, so for that you need to use this standard statement called connection equal to new MySQL MySQL I. Okay, remember MySQL I is the improved version of MySQL. So previously they are using MySQL, now you can use MySQL I. Okay, and then you have to supply these three variables: server name, username, and password. Okay, here the values are given, so these values will be supplied here. Okay, if you want you can give these values directly here also, like localhost, that is a server name, because how do you execute the PHP files? You will have to go to localhost. Okay, so that is the server name. For example, if your server is available on the remote, then you will have to specify the IP address of the server. Instead of specifying localhost, you have to specify the IP address of the server. Okay, here the server is available inside your laptop itself, inside your machine itself, so I am specifying local host. Okay, in case if your server is available on the remote somewhere on the internet, then you have to specify the IP address of the server. Okay, then the username and password to connect to the server. Okay, because in the server only the database exists. Okay, so this object is called as connection object or connection variable. So I am creating a connection with this variable. Okay, and then I am checking whether the connection is created successfully or not. Okay, check if $connection connect error, whether you are able to connect to the database or not. Okay, so if there is any error, then you can print the message, the error message, and then you can die means it will just close the session. Okay, or otherwise it will print the message called echo connected successfully. Okay, so this is the very basic coding to connect to the database. This will not print any output. Okay, this will just connect you to the database. Okay, so in the upcoming slides some of the codings may be repeated. I'll tell you where the coding differs. You can concentrate only that portion alone. Okay, now as you already know, the database may consist of any number of tables. Okay, so first you need to create the database, and then you need to create the tables inside the database. So as you can see here, as usual, you have your local host, server name, username, password. Okay, and then uh, create the connection object and check whether the connection is created successfully. If there is any error, you print the error message, or otherwise you print the error message and then die. The die means it close the session, that's it. Okay, or otherwise if there is any error it will close, or otherwise it will do the work continuously. Okay, so what is available in the next line is create the database. Okay, so you know, you already saw the command to create the database. So what is the command to create the database? Create database and then database name. Okay, so I am going to create a database called mydb. Okay, with the help of this SQL command. Okay, now I want to check whether this SQL command is executed successfully or not. Okay, for that first you need to execute the query. Okay, this is the SQL query. Okay, I have stored this SQL query in a string, that's all. I have not executed still. Okay, so where I am going to execute? Here, connection dot query of SQL. Okay, SQL is the query I am going to execute. Okay, now connection dot query is the command to execute any SQL query. Okay, so once it is executed, then it will return true. Okay, once the query is executed successfully, it will return true, otherwise it will return false. Okay, so if it is true, then it will print the database is created successfully, or otherwise it will print like there is an error in creating database. Okay, so this is for creating the database. Once it is done, you can close the connection dot close. Dot means that is a pointer object. It's a pointer notation we'll use actually. Okay, hyphen greater than symbol. Okay, so that is the way you can represent. Now this connection dot error will give you the error message in case if there is any error in creating the databases. Okay, now this is for creating the database. Okay, now once you create the database, you need to create the tables inside the database. Okay, now you can see here connection. I am not repeating the same codes again and again here. I just removed that server name username code here. Okay, so just I will start with this connection equal to establish the connection with the same server name, username, password, and there is one more extra argument added here, that is called db name. Okay, so db name is nothing but the database whatever you have created now. Okay, that is mydb. Okay, so that's what you have created, right? So you can see from the previous slide. So this is what my database name is. So I am going to use this mydb in the next slide in the variable $db name. Okay, that is not displayed here, so you can store that mydb database in this variable, or you can mention directly also mydb. Okay, that's not a problem. Okay, now if the connection is successful, then we'll move on to this, or otherwise it will give you an error. Okay, now I'm going to create the table. So you know the what is the syntax of the create table command. So create table, then I'm going to create a table called my guest. Okay, the id is integer type. Id is nothing but something like roll number, or employee id, or guest id. Okay, maybe something like. Okay, then first name, last name, these both are varchar type. Varchar is variable character, that is of length 30. Okay, 30, and both are not null. Okay, you should not provide empty values. Not null means you should not provide empty values. There should be some values. Okay, and then email, this is also varchar, which is of 50 characters length. Okay, so these are all 4 columns you have it in the table. Okay, ID, first name, last name, email, that's it. 4 columns you have created in the table called myguest. Okay. Now, now I am going to execute the query. This is the query I have just written. I am going to supply this query to this command connection.query SQL. So this only will execute. Okay. If it is executed successfully, it will return true. If it is executed successfully, then it will print table guest or my guest is created successfully, or otherwise it will give you an error. It will print the connection.error message. Okay. Now you may wonder that there is some triple equal to. Okay, you can give double equal to or triple equal to. That's not an issue. Triple equal to has some special function here. Okay, actually it is comparing with the format and as well as the value. Okay, so you don't need to worry about that. You can give a double equal to also. Okay. Now once it is done, I am going to insert the data into the table. Okay, so as usual, you can create the connection with server name, username, password and database name. Okay, now check the connection is created. Once it is created, then you can give the query insert into the table name, then give the column names, first name, last name, email ID. I am going to insert only the first name, last name, email ID. I am not going to insert the IDs. Okay, that is your wish. If you want, you can insert. Okay, values, name, first name, last name and then email ID. Okay, then I am executing the query here, connection query of SQL. If it is true, then you can print the message like the new record is created successfully, else give an error. Okay, and then you close the connection at the last. Okay. Okay, now with this introduction we will move on to the hands-on portion. So now I am going to create a database table and then we are going to insert some values. Okay, now let's create some database. One second, let me okay. You already know how to work with MySQL. So you need to give localhost / PHP myadmin. Now it will not open the page. Okay, the reason is I have not started the server. Okay, so you need to open XAMPP control panel. Okay, so open XAMPP control panel, start Apache server and as well as MySQL server. Okay, then minimize this. Now give localhost / PHP myadmin. Okay, now the MySQL server is open. Okay, now I am going to create, I am not going to use the coding to create the database and table because that is not our job. Through coding we are going to do only the insertion, deletion, modification, this kind of manipulations only we will do. Okay, all database creation, table creation will be done at the back end only. Okay, so to save the time, yesterday we discussed how to create the table, database and table. So through that I have created a table called college and student. Okay, sorry, college is the database and student is the table inside the database. Okay, if you want I will show you once again, no issues. Go to structure. Okay, one second, click on new first. Okay, click on new, create database will come. Click on databases. Now you create, for example, I have given college already, so I will create college 1. Okay, college 1, click create. Okay, Now college 1 database is created. Now inside this I am going to create new table name, for example I am going to create student 1. Okay, student 1 which is having for example 3 columns. Okay, create. So what are the 3 columns I am going to use? Roll number, that's an integer, so leave it as it is. Then name, it's a varchar, that is variable character which is of size 50. Okay, then mark, let's leave it as integer. Okay, so I have given 3 columns. Then you can save, click on save button. Okay, now you can see college 1 database is created. Inside that the student 1, why it is roll number student 1, 1 second. I think I by mistake I have typed something. Okay, 1 second. Let me rename the table if possible. Okay, okay, no issues. Let me drop this table and let me create again. I'll put drop table, roll number student 1. Okay, so click on go button. So I am dropping the table now. So the table has gone, you can see. Now let me create another table now. Create table student 1 which has 3 columns. Roll number integer, name varchar, and then mark integer. Okay, then I will save this table now. Okay, now college 1 database and student 1 table is created. Okay, now I am going to use the codings to insert the data into the table. Okay, now let's write some HTML coding, and then from the HTML page I am going to submit the data, and that data will be inserted into the database. Okay, it is not like simply inserting the data into the database. Okay, so that is the way practically happens in the life. Okay, so let me show you the files first. Okay. First of all, let me show you the coding for insert. Okay, so this is the coding for inserting data into the table. Okay, that is a HTML coding. Okay, HTML is, I have HTML body section, and inside that I have a form. Okay, so inside the form I have 3 text boxes: roll number and name text box and mark text box. So the name of the text boxes are roll number, name, and mark. Okay, so remember these names, because through these names only we are going to get the input from the text box. Okay, now this is my HTML file, and then I have to write a PHP file to handle this HTML file. Okay, when I send the data from the HTML, there should be some PHP file available on the server to receive these inputs. Okay, so this is my PHP file. So what I am writing in PHP file is, so this is my server name, that is a local host. Remember, in case if your server is available remotely, then you have to specify the IP address here. Okay, then the username, the default username and password for MySQL is, the username is root and password is null password. There is no password. So if you want, you can set the password by going into MS SQL. Okay, MySQL. Okay, so the default username is root and password is null. Okay, empty. And the database name whatever I have created is college1. Okay, now I am going to get the input from the three text boxes. So what is the text box names? Roll number, name, mark. Okay, so there is a method mentioned in the HTML. See here, post. Okay, so I am using here $_post. Okay, for all the text boxes. Okay, then I am storing these values into these variables: R number, name, and mark. Okay, now I got the values from the text boxes through this post, and I am storing it in these variables. Okay, now I have the values here. Okay, now create the connection. This is the as usual statement we saw. Connection equal to my new MySQL I, server name, username, password, and database. You have to specify. Okay, so database name I have given college1. These values you can specify directly also here. Here also I can specify localhost, comma, root, comma, empty string, comma, college1. That's not an issue. You can do it directly also. Okay. Then if the connection is created successfully, you proceed to this. Or if there is any error in the connection, then it will print this message, connection error message. Okay. Now if there are no errors, I will come to this. Okay, so what I am doing here, I am writing a SQL query, insert into student1. That is my table name, student1. Roll number, name, mark is the column names. Okay, then values. So what are the values I am going to insert? R number, name, mark. So from where I got these values? From these text boxes I have stored into these variables. Okay, so these variables I am going to insert here. Okay, now I am going to execute the query here, connection.query of SQL. Okay, this is for execution. If it is executed successfully, it will return true. If true, you can print the message new record created successfully, or otherwise you print the error message. Okay, now I have created one is PHP file. This is my PHP file, and this is my HTML file. See, remember a form tag action equal to insert.php. You have to mention this is my insert.php. Okay, so this file. Okay, and method equal to post. You know what is method equal to post. Okay, now remember, as I already told you, you will have to store both these files in a folder called XAMPP. Did you remember? You have to let me type this. One second. 1 second. Okay, sorry for the interruption. There is some tool which is malfunctioning. Okay, so now, sorry, I forgot. Yeah, I have created two files. One is insert.html, the another one is insert.php. So I have to put these two files inside the folder, as I already told you. Go to C drive. There is a folder called XAMPP, and inside the XAMPP, htdocs. Okay, so inside htdocs, you can create your own folder. I have created here demo. Okay, or you can put it in htdocs itself. That's not an issue. Yesterday itself I told you, previous class. So I am folder called demo. So inside demo, I am putting both the files, html and as well as the php file. Okay, now I am going to open this php file, sorry, html file. So as I already told you, you should not double click and open the file. Okay, so you should do it like, go to browser and type localhost / demo. Okay, demo / insert.html. Okay, so you can see here we have created an HTML file where we'll have three text box: roll number, name, mark, and submit button. Now I'll show you the database also. Then only you can see whether the data. So this is my student1 database. In student1 database, I don't have any data. Okay, you can see here roll number, name, mark. Okay, it's empty. Okay, you can see. Now what I am going to do, I am going to insert through this HTML file. Okay, so for example, my roll number is 100 and name is and mark is 89. Okay, click submit. So it shows new record created successfully. Okay, that is the data is inserted into the database. Okay, now let's go and check the database. Now it is not inserted anything. Refresh the page. You can see the data is inserted into the database. I have not done anything into the database. Okay, just I have given the data here in the text box and submitted the button. Click the submit button. The data gets automatically inserted here. Okay, so similarly I can insert one more data, 101. Okay, click submit. A new record created successfully. Now go and refresh the page, database page. Now you can see. Okay, so like this you can get the input from the HTML page, click the submit button, it will go and insert into the database directly. Okay, so that is the way you can work with HTML and PHP page. Okay, that is about insertion. And there is something called prepared statements. Okay, so this prepared statement is actually to avoid SQL injection attacks. Okay, so here what they are going to do is they are going to prepare an SQL statement just like a template. Okay, and then they will be supplying only the values and then they will try to execute the statements. Okay, so let's see an example. Okay, now I am giving here insert into my guest, first name, last name, email, values. Okay, and instead of giving the values, it's given a question mark, question mark, question mark. Okay, and then I am going to bind the parameters for these question marks. Okay, so what is that parameter is first name, last name, email, both are all three are string type, so I have to give yes, yes, yes in the double quotes. So that is my first argument. So give 3 times string, 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 first name, last name, email. So bind these parameters. If it is an integer, then you have to give I. Okay, for example, the first argument is integer, then the next two are string, then you have to give ISS. Okay, if it is double, you have to give D and S for string. B is blob. Blob is you can store images also. Okay, binary large objects. Okay, and once this statement is prepared, you can give the execute statement dot execute. Then the statement gets executed, then the data values will be inserted into the database. Okay, now this is the coding for doing that. As you can see here, this point I have this statement equal to connection dot prepare. So this is the method you have to use, connection dot prepare, insert into table name, then the column names, values, then give the question mark, question mark, question mark. Okay, then you bind the parameters. So what values you are going to insert into the question marks? First name, last name, email. Okay, so what are the types? String, string, string. So 3 times S is given. Then what I do, now the statement is prepared, then I am going to supply the values. What values I am going to supply? So first name John, then last name Doe, then email ID, then you give execute. Then what will happen? These values will go and sit in the place of question mark, and then this statement gets executed. Okay, So similarly, next time you supply next set of values, then execute. Next time you give set of values, then execute. So like this you can keep on execute the values. You no need to write the SQL query again and again. Insert into table values, values, values. You no need to write that. One time you write and next time you supply the values and execute. Okay. Let's do this. Then we'll check whether it is executing or not. Okay, so this is my prepared statement. As you can see here, here localhost, server name, root, username, password null, database name is college1, and here create the connection. Then after connection you can see I am creating a statement equal to connection dot prepare, insert into student1 is the table name. Into that I am going to insert roll number, mark, values. You can see 3 question marks I have given. Okay, now I am going to bind these parameters to the variables. What is the variable? Roll number, name, mark. Okay, now you can see I have given. Why? Because just to differentiate from that example I have given here. Roll number is an integer, so I. Name is a string, so yes. Mark is an integer, so I. So like that you have to give. So this is the first argument. The next 3 arguments is the variable names what you are going to insert. Okay. Now I am going to supply the values. Roll number equal to 104, name Matthew, mark equal to 98. Then I am executing the statement. Then automatically this will execute. You no need to write again, insert into value, student, values, all those things. Okay. Then next row, roll number equal to 105, name equal to John, mark equal to 80. Then execute. Automatically, once you supply the values, give execute, it gets executed. Okay. Now let's try to run this program. This file name is insert prepare. Okay, so you know how to execute this PHP files. I'll go to this. So I'll go to localhost / demo / insert prepare.php. Okay, see this one I am not doing through HTML. I am doing through PHP only. So I am executing directly insert prepare.php. See here, it's giving the message new records created successfully. Okay, you can go and see in the database. See, already I have 100, 101 only 2 records. Now you can see 104 and 105 is inserted, Matthew and John. Okay, so that's what given in this page. Okay, so Matthew and John is inserted now, 104, 105. Okay, so that is the way you can prepare a statement and then supply the values and keep on execute the statements one by one. Okay, so that is called prepared statement. Okay, the next one we have is, okay, now you have inserted the data in both the ways, through HTML form and through in the PHP file itself you have supplied the data and you have executed. Now your job is you need to display the data. Okay, now so to display the data, first connect to the database. Okay, and then give the query, select ID, first name, last name from table name. Okay, and then execute the query, connection query of SQL. So that will return the result. Okay, so in the result object I am having a table now. Okay, so in the table, if result.num rows is greater than 0, it means that the number of rows which is available in the result whatever I got now is greater than 0. It means if the table is not empty. Okay, if the number of rows is 0 means what? The table is empty. Okay, so if the table is not empty, I am going to display one by one. While row equal to result dot fetch associate. Okay, what this function do is, this function will fetch the rows one by one from the result. Okay, actually in the result you will have the whole table. Okay, so from the result it will fetch one by one, row by row, and it will store in a variable called row. Okay, now I am trying to print $row of id is the column name, then $row of first name, $row of last name. So whatever the column name is available, you can print that. Okay, so else echo 0 results. In case if the number of rows is not greater than 0, then this message will print 0 results. Then you close the connection. Okay, now we'll try to do this program now. Now I am going to show it from the database called college 1 and student 1 table. Okay, so this is my show.php file. So you can see here, so server name, root, password, college 1 is the database name. Then create the connection. So this is standard coding for creating the connection. So here I am writing a query, select roll number, name, mark from student 1, that is my table name. Then I am executing the query, connection.query SQL. Then the result will come into this variable, the table, entire table will come into this. So from the table I am fetching row by row. Okay, if the number of rows is greater than 0, I am fetching row by row, and then I am printing roll number equal to, this is the variable actually, $row of roll number. Roll number is the column name, and name equal to $row of name is the column name, and $row of mark is the column name. This dot are concatenation operator. Okay, just to join the strings, nothing else. Okay, if the number of rows is not greater than 0, then it will print 0 results. Then close the connection. Okay, now let me run this program. This one I am not running through HTML, I am running directly. So I will type localhost demo / show.php, that is my PHP file. Okay, so as you can see, so my roll number 100, name Sam, and mark 89. Mark the caption is not given. Okay, if you want you can give, that's not an issue. So only roll number, name is given. Mark, for the marks it is not given, mark equal to. Okay, so 100, 101, 104, 105, name is given, marks is also given. Okay, so just I am getting the data from the database, whatever available here, I am printing on the HTML page to the user. Okay, so here I have just printed just as a plain text. You can print it as a just like a table or whatever the format you want. You can display it as a table also. Okay, okay, so that is about getting the data. Okay, selecting the data from the database. Okay, in the select you can use where condition, like for example select the data, select the row which is having the roll number equal to this. Okay, or select and then order by roll number, something like this. Okay, I can write a query something like this. For example, select roll number, name, mark from student 1 where roll number equal to for example 101. Okay, now let's try to execute this. You can see when I refresh the page, I am getting the details of only 101 roll number. Okay, now I can give it like mark where mark greater than 80. You can give any condition. You can see roll number 100 and 104 is having more than 80 marks. Okay, so like this you can give any condition and you can print it. Okay, and where condition, and then you can use order by for example mark. See, the datas are ordered by mark. The first mark is 70, then 80, 89, 98. The records are arranged according to the mark. Okay, so like this you can use any SQL query in depends upon your need in the select command, select query. Okay, so that is about this where and order by class. Then how to delete the data. Okay, delete and update the data. Now for example this one I will try to do through an HTML page. As you can see here, for delete you will have to use the command called delete. Okay, delete from table name where the ID equal to 3, maybe where the roll number equal to some roll number. Then you execute connection.query SQL. If it is true, then it will print the message record deleted successfully, otherwise it will give you error. Okay, then you close the connection. Similarly for updation also. Okay, write the update command, update table name, set which column you are going to update, last name equal to, change the name, where the ID equal to 2 or where the roll number equal to 2, something like that. Okay, then we'll try to demonstrate this. Let me show you first update. Okay, I will write an HTML page. You can see here, this is my small HTML form, the same form. Okay, same roll number, name, mark, submit. Okay, and here the action equal to update.php. I am going to update the values, so I have written a separate file update.php and method equal to post. Okay, now let's see what is there in update.php. So as usual you can see the server name, root, then password, the database name is college1. Then see, I am trying to get the values from the text box, roll number, name, mark. Okay, from the text boxes. Then I am creating a connection as usual code. Then I am writing a update statement. Okay, so update student1 is the table name. Okay, set mark equal to $mark. So where is this $mark is coming from? You can see here from the text box, $mark. Okay, $mark. Okay, and then where roll number equal to $R number. So where this R number is coming from? This text box. Okay, so I am going to give the details of roll number in the roll number text box and mark in the mark text box, and then I am going to click the submit button. So when I click the submit button, it will go and write into the database where that roll number is present. Okay, so before that I would like to see what is available in the database. Okay, so you can see remember 100 roll number, name is Sam and mark is 89. Okay, now I want to update this mark to for example 100. Okay, now let's run the program. I am going to run the file update.php, sorry, update.html, because through HTML I am going to run. So my roll number I am going to update is 100, correct? Roll number 100. Name I am not going to do anything, so leave it empty. And then mark I am going to update it as 100. Okay, click submit. If you want, you remove the name text box also, no problem. Okay, so now see here the record updated successfully. Now go and check in the database. This is my old data, 100 Sam 89. Okay, I will refresh the page. One second. It's showing record. I think database name is correct, and then mark is also correct. Okay, let me try once again. The roll number is 100. Let me try for another roll number, 101. 101, space is wrong, and let's make it 55. Okay, just for differentiation. Okay, record updated successfully. Okay, 1 second, let me close this. Sometimes because of the cache issues, localhost / demo / update.html. okay, now I'll write 100 Sam, then I'll make it as 100. Okay, record updated successfully. Okay, 1 second. College 1, student 1. Okay, 1 second. I think I have not saved this file. That is a problem. I didn't save the file. So now I think it will work. Click submit button. Now I can see. Yeah, you can see here it is changed to 100. Okay, now I will update again once. What is the other roll number? 105 John 80. So roll number 105. I will remove this name. Instead of giving 80, I will make it as 77. Okay. Click submit. Record updated. So now refresh the page. See here 105 John 77 marks. Okay, it's updated. I didn't save the PHP file. That is a problem. Okay, so save the file and execute. Okay, now so updation is done successfully. Now the deletion part is remaining. So for deletion also I am going to do it through HTML page. Okay, so the user is going to give the roll number, which roll number to be deleted from the database, and I can delete that data. Okay, so here the user is giving only the roll number, so I have only one input, a roll number, and submit button. Okay, so instead of submit I can write like delete also here. Okay, if you want. Okay, Now what I am going to do, I have to write delete.php. So this is my PHP page. As you can see, the SQL query is delete from student 1 where the roll number equal to, you can specify the roll number directly or you can get it from here also. Okay, so the database name is 1 data college 1, and I can get like I will get it from the user, then I will delete based upon the user input. Dollar R number you can give it here. So from where this R number is coming, from the HTML control, that is the text box. R number equal to post the roll number. Roll number is the text box. Okay. So now I think everything is correct. Let's try to do that. Okay. So let me open this del.html. Okay, so I am going to execute through this localhost /demo. Now open an HTML page, that is delete.html. so I have only one text box, roll number. Here I am going to give the roll number and click submit button so that it gets deleted. Okay, now you can see here, before deleting I want to check the database. What are the numbers available? 100, 101, 104, 105. Okay, so I'll give 100, then I'll click submit button. So it shows record deleted successfully. Okay, now I'll go and check in the table. So this is my table. I refresh the page now. See here, the 100 is deleted now. Okay, only 3 rows are available. Okay, now for example I want to delete the rows where the marks are greater than 70 or 80. Okay, so that also you can do. Okay, so what you can do is I can write like delete from student 1 where marks mark greater than 77 or less than 90. I'll put less than 90. Okay, so here less than 90 is, there are 2 rows, 70 and 77 is there, 98 is 1 mark. Okay, so if we put where mark less than 90, it will delete 2 rows, 101, 105. Okay, let's check. Okay, no, here it is not possible. Actually I'll try this, because actually I am getting the input from the HTML page. So if you remove this, it will work. I will make this as comment. Okay, because based on the user input roll number I am deleting it previously. Now I am not getting any roll number. Okay, now I am executing directly. See, now it is deleted successfully, record deleted successfully. Now you can go and check in the database, refresh the database. See here, 70 and 77 has gone, only 98 is there. Okay, so why? Because for this condition You don't need any input. Delete from student 1 where mark less than 90. Here I don't need any input. 90 is given directly. But previous example, I got the roll number as the input from the HTML page and I checked here. So what I did, where roll number equal to R number. So that's what I checked here. Okay. So here I am not checking anything. I have just given the condition mark less than 90. So it's executed. Okay. So there is about delete statement and update statements. Okay. So this is how you can connect PHP and MySQL, and you can work on the server, and you can supply the data from the database to the HTML page, and similarly you can get the data from HTML page and you can insert into the database. Okay. So that's all about the PHP MySQL database connection part. So with this, this database connectivity is over. So next session we will be starting React.js, and upcoming sessions we will discuss about Node.js also. Okay. So let me stop with this, and